Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, and let's see, what do these tea leaves have to say tonight. Oh my goodness. All right, so our card for this evening is the Knight of Wands. Fire, fire, fire. Excuse me. And as we know, with the Knight of Wands, it really is very passionate. There can be quite a bit of emotionality, but this is really a place, there's a fine line of forming things in such a way that trying to think how this, forming things in such a way that they are flourishing, right? They are ablaze. There's a glory of light, but it can really live on the edge of really just burning everything down, okay? So this is where we have to be careful that we don't succumb to our own, desires, passions, the things that kind of pull us away from the work that we are doing. If that's in the physical world, if that is spiritual, if that is emotional, creative, whatever it is. Okay. And let's look at these. Let's look and see what's going on. I am not unhappy to see the Knight of Wands, but when paired with the Gemini, I worry that things can get a little bit almost kind of a mania or hypomania, maybe really pulled away from the direction that you have been traveling in intentionally. But I want to look and see what these have to say before we get too deeply into that. Okay, so, all right. It looks like we have somebody here who's kind of standing above, maybe just kind of on a higher, a little bit of a higher position. We have two other people, one here, we have one here. We have kind of this movement. To me, it almost is like somebody speaking loudly, okay? And then down here, it looks like the person maybe is on a horse even right here. And then we have another person here, okay? We also have a fire. It looks kind of like a campfire. And so as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking there seems to be almost kind of a draw towards some kind of, I almost in my mind think of maybe like a guru, somebody who does like some kind of lecturing or ministering, maybe somebody who you're impassioned by their philosophy, their spirituality, their religious beliefs, tenets, and they're charismatic maybe, or they have something just that really speaks to you, okay? And I can see we have that almost the Knight of Wands here. Kind of, let's see, arm raised a bit. Horse kind of coming up this way. Arm raised here as well. And really a sense of, how can I say this? A sense of feeling like they're talking to you directly. Like you relate to them in a way that kind of speaks to your soul. Okay? You are interpreting their message. Okay? And this is in this emotional zone. It feels to me like you are kind of almost in this place where it's like, I found my thing. This is where everything kind of comes together. I'm getting it. It's all kind of clicking into place. I feel like this is, maybe like, this is like my family. These are my people. And there is a steady amount of passion involved with this, a love almost. And, I think that that's a wonderful thing. Now, we have to be careful because when we go into these places where maybe for the first time even you feel like, oh my gosh, this is somebody, this is a group of people, they see the world in a way that makes sense to me, okay? And that's great. That's a good thing. It's easy though. It's easy though to become fully immersed in this feeling, this belief, and I think it's important to always like temper yourself somewhat so that you don't lose a sense of yourself as an individual. When the flames kind of get going, they come together. They just really merge into one another and it becomes quite a blaze, right? And like I said, this could be, the light of the world. This could be that sacred heart. But this also could be, something quite destructive. This could be something that can really take you down a path that you were not expecting, and can become quickly very difficult. Okay, so, I just ask you as I'm looking at this to take your time with it. Go slow. I'm a firm believer that, and this applies to romantic relationships, to creative process, to finding our friends, our group of people, our spiritual community, whatever it is. It's not going to go anywhere if you decide to take your time with it. If anybody is kind of pushing you, really, getting to a point where it's like, I don't know, it's overwhelming. It's a little too quick. It's, it starts to invade all aspects of your life. This kind of thing, you just have to be mindful. Okay. And taking care of yourself, I understand how, all-consuming it can be to meet the people, a group of people, or a person who feels like, they were made for you to not just be, it doesn't have to be romantic. It surpasses romance. This is a partnership. This is like a, what they would call like a celestial union or spouse or bridegroom or whatever. It is heavenly, right? But these things don't need to be rushed. Okay, so that's important. Now, I do see we have a person here who's kind of running, trying to grab something. Okay, and now we have this, it looks like a mermaid or a siren. We know the siren is a creature. Usually it used to be half bird. Hello, good evening. Half, excuse me, half bird, half human. A little bit differently composed than the fish in person, but this is also another form. And we know it calls out, it sings beautiful, beautiful songs. The sailors are enchanted. You know, they can't possibly refuse this beautiful sound. So they turn their ships and they go towards it. And, you know, to their ruin. Usually they crash into a bunch of rocks or a cliff or the shallows or whatever. And, you know, not the best fate. So, I'm not saying this is what this is, but I just want you to be careful about, there are some red flags, okay? I feel like this is less about finding finding a thing that is true, or finding a thing that can you come over here, please? You're gonna knock over Papa Yagba again, okay? We don't want to knock him over. And so, or Yagba, Legba. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't remember now. TT, come on. We just must be careful, right? Sometimes it's more about just finding something that feels meaningful in the moment, and that's okay. We all are looking for that, you know, and we all want community. We all want connection. Especially if we are spiritual people, we want people who reach us on that deeper level. Okay. And, you know, I talk about it on here. We have community here. In the comments, we have our Discord for the channel, if you're a member, you know, these kinds of things. But, you know, it should be informal to some degree. If you are involved in a system, of course, there is a higher expectation of initiation and process and, you know, texts and beliefs and this kind of thing. And that's wonderful, but you should also always keep your autonomy within this. So, you know, I feel like this is a place where you just have to tread lightly, okay? You know, remember yourself, and not just trying to capture something because, you know, running after it, trying to capture it. It's like blowing in the wind, you know, blowing it further away. You're running after it. And, you know, it just is maddening after a while. But it's fully taking your attention. It's distractive, right? It's eating up your time. So finding our way back to our center, our place of power, doing the thing that we do best, whatever that is, you know. Now we also have a person who is kind of, walking up a stair. On their head, they have a fish. To the side, we have the hawk. It looks like Horus. And, you know, so the discerning mind, that core solar consciousness, to be sharp, to be discerning, to see with the eyes you have to see, right? Not just our physical eyes, but those, you know, those intuitive eyes, those spiritual eyes, that place of great power, you know, the all-seeing eye, and the fish on top of the head. There is an abundance there. You know, I think so often we get in these places where we want to belong to something. We want to follow, you know, follow the bliss or happiness or interest or intrigue or mystery or whatever. And again, this is all fine. There's nothing wrong with this. But, you know, we already have an abundance of ability and talent and access to divine knowledge through the self-work. And, you know, it's important that we don't fall out of the one for the other, right? So, you know, I think that this is a really strong message to be focusing inward into that interior sun, okay? There's just this time of year, if you are in the northern or southern hemisphere, all over, it is, you know, these are the months of Saturn coming, and this is a time of refinement, okay, and a refinement of self. This is a time when we actively push against impulse, okay? We become, you know, somewhat abstinent from those exterior indulgences. And if we do, we save them for the most special times. And, you know, this very much aligns with, and I know in the southern hemisphere it is summer, but I'm sure there is, because it is so hot in a lot of places, there is a sense of retaining your energies and, you know, using them wisely. But in the northern hemisphere, during these long winters, okay, even if it's not very cold where you are, it is symbolic. During these long winters, we have to be quite decisive of how we use our resources. It was not that long ago that people spent a good portion of the year getting ready for these long months, you know, and if you were not ready, you were in trouble. So we have to look at this, you know, in a similar way to these spiritual, emotional, the vital energy, the vital essence of self. You know, when we come in line with these seasons, with these alignments with the celestial, you know, we must, to some degree, of course, there's room for variance or divergence, but, you know, abide this in some way, because it kind of is the natural flow of things. So, I wanted this to be a really fun reading. And, you know, ultimately, I think that it is fun in the way that, hey, you're going to be doing some fun introspective work. We also have a person who's kind of standing on top of a mushroom, and we have an eye, okay? So maybe it has to do with plant medicine. Maybe it is less overt. But I feel like there is a sense of the universe talking to you and you going on a little journey with it, kind of balancing on top. We have up here some kind of word. I don't know what it is. We have an I and a U. I can see that. But we also have a little heart by the foot. And let's see. Here we have a little cat. Okay, and the cat always for me is a big sign of individuality. That is important. you know, and Gemini, you're not a follower, and I am not trying to say that you are, but I do think that, and this is maybe the beautiful thing about Gemini, maybe the thing that gets you in trouble sometimes, is that you will go to almost any place or within any kind of interesting thing that, you know, catches your fancy, and that might lead you down a really interesting narrative, right, or tale or arc, but you know, you never know what you're going to find at the end of that alley. Is it going to be a doorway into like a magical place, or is it going to, you know, you're going to get robbed? You know, it's hard to tell. Now, we do have these two people meeting face to face, okay? This feels not unlike the Lovers. And I do think that, you know, we do have a sense of a blessed union here. So I think that there will be a balance. I think that this cat, she's driving me nuts. She's just knocking everything around. What are you doing? She's just trying to push over my, I have a stack of like journal. I like to write on, what's it called? Wheel pads, my little journals and thoughts and things. And this cat, she's always trying to knock it over. I have a big stack of them. TT, let me finish. So we have, you know, we have a balanced union. We have this devotion, okay? And I think that really this is the devotion to your path, okay? Interestingly, I want to say, and this is such a random thought, but there's like almost a sense, like a feeling of something like it's like onion, but it reminds me of maybe like a shallot, or like a kind of garlic, maybe like a garlic onion or something. But it seems like I almost see you, like have this vision of you like chewing on it or something, like the shoot. And I don't know what that has to do with. I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, it's like almost kind of silly, but you have a great affinity for maybe like green onions, or I don't know. It's kind of a random. Maybe leeks. I've been wanting some leek soup really bad. I have a couple different recipes that I use that are really good. It's definitely soup season now. Okay, let's see. And we have a duck. Okay, so going with the flow of things. And ultimately, you know, I don't know why Spirit wanted me to talk about this. This is not what I was expecting at all. This was like not my vibe coming into this reading. But I'm looking at the thing, excuse me, and it feels just, I don't know. It's just like a little, I just feel like almost, I don't know. It seems like a very specific reading for somebody. So hopefully some of this resonates with some of you. So, and hopefully a few of you, you're like, okay, this is my story. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, Gemini. Oh, we have to do the Dreamers deck. We're going to do that. The Dreamers deck, 40 affirmations for pursuing your dreams. And I'm going to stop right there. I want to see what's at the bottom. And it says, I know that I deserve wonderful things. Say it again. I know I deserve wonderful things. I am worthy. And I think this is ultimately at the bottom of all of this reading. This is like the core of it. I am worthy of wonderful things. I'm not going to be distracted by things that seem like from the outside that they're going to be fulfilling, when they might lead down a path that is a waste of time. Although nothing is a waste of time, and time is a construct, but something that is going to detract from what you really want, what you really desire. And it is almost like it's self-sabotage, okay? And we choose these things that do not fit us. They do not serve us. They are not for us. We know that at some level. And ultimately, you know, we need this affirmation. I'm worthy. I'm worthy of the hard work. I'm worthy of choosing the thing that I know is right, but it's more difficult. Okay? And that's, you know, that's the vibe there. That's what I'm feeling. That's what Spirit is whispering in my ear. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much, Gemini. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really helps the channel a lot. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And Gemini is now coming out on Fridays. Definitely keep an eye on the channel, though. I do bonus readings throughout the week, and Saturdays are my all bonus reading days. So that changes every week whenever I'm going to be reading. So definitely see who I'm reading for. It might be another Gemini. So yeah, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean so much to me. I thank you and I love you, Gemini. We will talk again real soon.